We'll start with the next verse, Bhagavad Gita 3.9. So we are in Karma Yoga, chapter 3, and verse number 9. So we already discussed 8 verses last week. So it was, Karma Yoga, it started with Arjuna was being very in the confusion state, whether Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga, which one should be performed. And definitely Krishna suggests that being jnani, being yogi, karma yogi is far more superior than being a jnani. And the reasons are like for jnana yoga or jnani or jnana yogi practitioner, so they are just not doing any prescribed duties. They're simply doing the meditation, that's all. And it is not easy for everyone to do that process. It's not practical either. We also discussed how in Kali Yuga especially, doing our normal duty itself is like a burden for us, correct? And then out of our way, out of our comfort zone, going to the forest or isolated or secluded place and then sit down in a particular position and sitting down on a particular grass, everything is recommended. So this is how much with the grass should be the cushion. It shouldn't be too cushiony. You can't close your eyes completely. It has to be three-fourth closed only. So there are so many conditions that need to be met before you can even start practicing it. Then what to speak of sitting down and practicing it on daily basis? It's not like a tourist thing that you just go and then try it out for a day and then you come back home and do whatever you want to do the rest of your life. It's not like that. Once you go there, you just continue doing that. So that's not practical at all. So we don't have to worry about it, correct? And that's what Arjuna was recommended by Krishna also. Don't worry, all of those. Being inactive is not practical, especially you're Kshatriya. And for anybody, being inactive is not at all practical. Even for Jnani himself, it's not practical. He has to do something. Otherwise, he'll go mad. And I have heard from someone I know. They were saying that being home and not going to work, not going to anywhere else, just sitting at home itself. We think sometimes that you just want to sit down at home and do nothing, but that is not easy. And the person I was speaking to was telling me that the person she knew was complaining to her that just being home itself making her go mad, go crazy. That's simply because we can't stay idle. Even for myself also, if I wanted to just sit down and do nothing, I can't do that. I have to do something. I have to find myself doing something. Otherwise I feel like, oh, what I'm doing, I'm just simply wasting my time, not doing anything productive. So if you're working woman, and especially I know my mother-in-law, when she was working, she was very busy all day in her life, most of her life, and then once she was retired, she felt very awful, like she that's not her, that's not her nature. And she started to complain like it's too boring. Then she started to find friends close by or do something. She found herself doing something else, just to keep her engaged. So idle mind is devil's workshop, correct? So we shouldn't keep our mind idle at all. That's when the mind starts to think too many things. And to bring the mind back in order, we have to practice some spiritual practice. Otherwise the mind is so tricky, and if you tell the mind, oh, do this, do that, the mind will tell you what the mind wants to do, right? And that might not be productive for us, that might not be favorable for our journey back home, back to Godhead. So the essence that we take is from the last 8 verses is that you do your prescribed duties, okay, and then just leave it to Krishna, the results. You just not you don't attach to the results. You should not have any desires to the results or the action itself. Correct. Is it easy to do? It is not easy or practical, but we can, by practice, by proper training, proper practice, we can achieve that. It's not that it's not very hard. You once we understand, right, the greatness of the Supreme Lord, once we understand the greatness of His powers, His potency, His opulence, and everything, what we have is very insignificant. We will not be. too much worried about what we have, this insignificant position we might have. Maybe we are a manager to the company. Even if you become CEO, we are still insignificant compared to the Supreme Lord. So when we have that gratitude and humility, we automatically oblige to the nature and the gratitude we show to the Supreme Lord and the administrators of the Supreme Lord, that is Devi Devadas, which we will see in the upcoming verses. All right, so verse number 9, Yajnat tat karmanonyantra loko yam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta shanga samachara. Translation: work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So, now Krishna is giving all the instruction, the tips, the clue, whatever you want to call it as, because it's not that you do your duty and that's it. No, what is your intention, what is your consciousness, that is very important, more important than the work itself, correct? So when you do the work, whatever the prescribed duty you have, Kshatriya has described prescribed duties, and Brahmana, so as Vaishyas and Shudras. So everyone has our own prescribed duties, correct? So whichever nature we fall into, sometimes we might be into more of this, there less of the other type. So whichever it is, we must just do the duty, right? And when we do perform duty, we should do it as a sacrifice to Krishna, Vishnu. That is called yajna. So the work when you do in the consciousness that you're dedicating that to Krishna or Vishnu, then it becomes yajna or sacrifice. Okay, so that means that is purifying you. So, see, if you think about it, you're doing the same work, a person A, person B, both are doing the same work, both are manager in the same company. He is in department A, he is in department B, both deriving same salary, everything same. And his consciousness is he wanted to become more popular, more rich, and he wanted to enjoy, he wanted to satisfy his senses, he wanted to achieve materially in the overwhelming position, whatever. So he is so material focused. Okay, so he is that position is called karma kanda or karma kandi. Who is practicing that is karma kandi, but still he is following some regulations. It's not that he is not doing that, but he is following regulations. But he is attached to his work. He is attached to the results, and he wanted to enjoy for himself, for his family, extended family members, like that. Okay, and person B, on the other hand, he is also in the same position, everything, deriving the same salary, everything, but his consciousness is totally different. So he is doing as a matter of duty and as a sacrifice to Vishnu. He's just doing, okay, I am given this position, let me do my best to fulfill the position's duties, and let me offer that to Vishnu. So when he is having that consciousness, only the consciousness vary, correct? So the consciousness here is totally self-centric, whereas the consciousness here is supreme-centric, Supreme Lord-centric, correct? Therefore, here, whatever he is doing, the money he is earning, and the food he is eating, everything, the consciousness changes, correct? Therefore, it is purificatory process. It is purificatory practice. So it is purifying his consciousness more and more. Therefore he comes closer to the God. So that's more important, right? So when we come closer to the creator, the controller, and the supreme enjoyer, who is Lord Krishna, then we don't have to worry about all these tiny weeny little things, because we have Supreme Lord with us. We don't have to worry about the little petty things that we might face, the troubles we might face, because we know the Supreme Lord is protecting us, so we don't worry about all of these factors. So that therefore we will be freed from the bondage. Okay, so why we are following Varnashram Dharma? Varnashram Dharma is that Krishna only created Chaturvarnam, Maya Shishtam, Guna Karma, Vibhasha. So Krishna only created that Varnashram Dharma. Okay, 4 Varnams and 4 ashrams. So whether you're a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Shudra, the Vaishya or Shudra, or you're Brahmachari or Grahastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi, whatever position you might be in, whether you're Brahmana Grahastha or Brahmana Brahmachari or Brahmana Sannyasi or Brahmana Vanaprastha, whatever you are, correct? You follow that Varnashram Dharma, whatever that Varnashram Dharma dictates as in the Vedas, you follow that, correct? And then offering everything to Krishna consciously, with consciousness, that intention, with intention you are offering that to the Lord, which is purifying you and that is bringing you closer to the Lord. Therefore, the bondage is relieved, removed, eliminated. The bondage means what? You are working, right? You're not dedicating any results to the Lord, Supreme Lord, and you want everything to be enjoyed by your own self. Therefore the bondage is there, because you wanted to enjoy means you need to be present to enjoy. To be present, you need to take rebirth, or you need to live to that mark, whatever that mark you are, you deserve, you're qualified to live for, you live. So you enjoy, because you wanted to enjoy $100,000, correct? And you have credit, you have punya karma, you have punya credit. That means you can enjoy. So you come to that stage, $100,000, now you got sick, what happens? That person wanted to enjoy and he dies, and the $100,000 is remaining on his account, right? But because he is dead, the punya karma is there for him to enjoy. So in the next life, the punya karma will be given to him to enjoy. That means, what does that mean? Means he has to take birth. And Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is a burden. It's not just an enjoying thing, or a big good experience. No, it's miserable, because you have to take birth in the womb of a mother. Mother could be an animal mother or a living entity, any living entity, human mother or animal mother or bird. But going into the womb, and in the womb, it is said, Bhagavatam, it is said in the Bhagavatam that it's so many worms in our stomach, and that will bite the baby, and the baby cries and it gets pain and it get injured, it get wound, and it just it has to survive in that environment. It doesn't like that. The baby doesn't like that. The baby who is very fortunate baby and intelligent, fortunate baby, prays to the Supreme Lord, because in the womb the baby is more conscious than the baby is outside. So it's praying to to the Supreme Lord that, look, please make this as my last birth. I don't want to take birth again. This is so miserable. It's so dark in here, and it's worm bites are so, it's too much, and I can't live here. I don't want to take birth again. Please give me this benediction. I when even it doesn't even ask for benediction, just promises to the Lord, please let it be the last birth. So as soon as I come out of this womb, I will dedicate my life to you. That way, what happens when you dedicate your life to the Supreme Lord? You are liberated automatically. That means liberation means what? No bondage. No bondage means no birth. So the baby knows all of this and praying like that. But guess what happens is, the fortunate baby, when not every baby will pray for that, right? Because only fortunate babies would do that. Fortunate means what? That baby should have done a lot of spiritual activities in the previous life to be able to have that consciousness even in the womb. But after taking birth, because the Maya, Krishna's external potency, Maya, is so powerful that dominates the consciousness of this person who was better in the womb, but now forgot everything. That's exactly what happened to all of us. We forgot our position, and therefore we must seek Guru to remind, Guru will remind us, so we can go back home to Krishna. Can anyone read the 10th verse, please?
सहयज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाचा प्रजापति अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एषावोस्त्व istakamadhuk.
Translation.
In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu and blessed them by saying, Be though happy by this yagna, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation.
Hmm. See, from this verse onwards, for the next few verses, it will go in the flow like this. Okay. So I'll give you the gist. So Krishna has designed this material world to encourage yajna or sacrifice, because not every person will do bhakti immediately, because they have to have bhakti credit to do bhakti. So bhakti will only give you bhakti. So therefore, that bhakti bija, the seed of bhakti, can be given by the bhakti of a devotee who has bhakti towards Krishna, right? That devotee, by his mercy, that devotee could be our guru, Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru, um, or Sheshta Guru, which is from Paramatma, but mostly, but Paramatma also, he plays very important role and prominent role all the time, because without Paramatma's inspiration, nothing can happen. Okay. For example, Paramatma inside me has to inspire me to speak anything about Krishna to someone I see, right? And that person, the Paramatma in that person has to inspire that person to listen. So if this is not communicating properly, my Paramatma and his Paramatma, even though Paramatma is one, but because in a different body next to the different souls, Paramatma's inspiration based on that soul's condition, the Paramatma's inspiration can be perceived or rejected by the soul. Okay. But of course, Paramatma will make sure that inspiration is very intense, so that that person, the soul, takes it and then listens to that other person's talking about Krishna and then can relate to it. So I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I had this festival in Milton for the mantra meditation. So I had this lady, very beautiful soul, and she said she has been hearing the name Aish everywhere. She was seeing Aish everywhere, wherever she was seeing for some time, for a few days before she met me last time. And then she was saying, she's very spiritual, and she was saying, and I felt there is some connection. Why, sometimes indication, we if we are not spiritual, if there are any indications you see, you ignore it because you don't even know how to relate that indication to your life. But people who are very spiritually enlightened and active, they can quickly, even if there is one signal, because of that Paramatma is being very active in them, because they've been good, etc. So the Paramatma, when it inspires, they can quickly capture. So she has been seeing the name, my name Aish, everywhere, like in the car or in the van, wherever she was seeing, right? And then she wanted to know why she's seeing this name. And then she thought she has her friend called the same name. So maybe it's the time to talk to her. Maybe she needs something or anything. Maybe I needed to call her. That's what she thought. And when we met and I was doing the session, the stage mantra meditation, once it's finished, I was asking someone to distribute my mantra meditation business card to others. She got the card, and there was a card, my card saying mantra meditation with Aish. Then she immediately came and asked, so this is you. This is you. I was asked, forced to come see, and now I have met you. So I'm very grateful that I have now seen you and you have given me this. And she was very, really grateful, and I was surprised. And then she again came to my yesterday's session. Even though I didn't have her number, she lost my card, because she remembered that me telling in the last session 2 weeks ago that there will be next class in so and so place. She came correctly, promptly. Even she was earlier than me. She was waiting for me, and I can see her spiritual path is glowing like anything, and she is ready already. And I have to take lessons from her, with her discipline, punctuality, gratitude, and humility, and openness. And she was asking, when I was speaking about Bhagavad Gita, she asked, can you bring me the books I wanted to read Bhagavad Gita? So that much, she was very receptive and open. She's a local Australian lady only, and I was very delighted. If we see even one such student, even I am also a student. I'm not saying I am a teacher. I'm not even a teacher. But even if you see someone who is a listener like that, in that mood, in that consciousness, and she was asking very great questions, Yesterday she asked so many nice questions. Why are we doing this? What will happen? Like, what is this? What is that? And she appreciated about we appreciating the creator and all, because she appreciates as well. So it's like-minded people, right? So when, even though she doesn't know what is yagya, what is sacrifice, what are prescribed duties, what are vedas, but her consciousness is already improved, already in an advanced stage. All she needs is to connect her back to the goal of the life, the purpose of the life, what it is, the content, that essence of Bhagavad Gita, which we need to connect her to the Supreme Lord. Then she will start from there. I mean, she will continue from there. It's not starting. She already there. Already, she was chanting nicely, listening nicely, etc., pronouncing nicely, picked up the tune nicely, quickly. So this simply indicate that she has been already practicing. She had been in the past lives, and then she just is continuing in this life, which is great. And what happens with people? What Krishna here saying that Krishna created this material world to encourage everyone to do yajna, but not everyone knows about yajna, right? What to do? Don't need to worry. The yajna, it's all for still karma yoga level only, or karma kanda, karma yoga. But once you advance like bhakti yoga, you don't need any sacrifice. Chanting itself, sankirtan yajna, right? The kirtanam is what? Chanting the glories of the holy name or Krishna itself is this what Sankirtanam is itself sacrifice. You are sacrificing the time, energy, but we shouldn't say sacrificing, because what are we sacrificing anyway? We everything we got from Krishna, and then what are we sacrificing? Nothing. We are simply doing it for our own benefit, for our own purification. But we think, oh, I'm spending time for Krishna. I have somehow managed to give Krishna half an hour in a day, or 1 hour a week. Wow, that's great. Think about it. Even the 24 hours a day you are getting, it is coming from Krishna. It's not that you created even a single microsecond. Hmm? So because of lack of gratitude only, we are not able to see the significance, the potency of Krishna. Hmm? So long ago, Vishnu, the Lord of all creatures, created population along with sacrifices and said, "May you get all desirable things by this yajna to live happily and achieve liberation." So the the idea was, you're in a human body, you follow the Varnashram Dharma, you follow Vedas pretty much, okay, indicating that you must follow Vedas, right? Because where do you know, how do you know about varnashram dharma unless you know Vedas, right? And that is why Brahmanas are they, even though Shudras wouldn't know about Vedas. So Brahmanas are they who are like brain of the society, or the intelligence of the society. They give the knowledge to the administrative class, that is Kshatriyas, or business class people, or mercantile class people, Vaishyas, or labor class, which are Shudras. So they give this knowledge. Hey, come on, you are doing this. Now this happened in your family. Now you need to do this. So you're having a child who is going to go to the school. Now you do this yagya, particular yagya, so they this the before school, start to school, the child to begin the school, um, the yagya to be performed, so that way it will empower the student, this child, to learn and achieve things in a better way, like that. So all yagya means itself is a purificatory ceremony only. Okay, so it is recommended. But again, Krishna is giving all these basics. It's not that Arjuna has to sit down and do yagyas, but to appreciate. And people who are not ready to do bhakti, at least start here. At least appreciate. Be grateful to what you have. That's exactly what Krishna is saying in these verses. And 3.11. Someone can please read 3.11 translation and as well as text, the sloka.
देवान् भवयत्तनेन ते देवा भवयन्तु वा परास्परं भवयन्तः श्रेयःपर अवप्यस्यत. Translation: The demigods being pleased by sacrifices will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
So demigods means Devi Devadas. 33 crores of Devi Devadas exist, correct? And they are all empowered administrators of the Supreme Lord. Because Supreme Lord is one and he can manage anything. But to serve him, right? To serve him is what? Personally, directly to serve him is more purifying than anything else. So he created jobs for everyone. So he gave the jobs to Indra to give rain to the planets, all the planets like that, and Varuna to take care of the ocean, the sun god to give sunlight and energy, and then moon god to nourish the vegetables at night. Like that, he has given the job, the role to the different departments to different people. And when you have enough pious credit, like punya karma, punya credit, the sukurti, you become, for example, if you have eligibility to become Lord Brahma, you can take that position as Lord Brahma. It's not Brahma is a name, but rather it's a position. So you can become a Lord Brahma. Sometimes if Lord Brahma's position is not filled due to reasons like no one is qualified at that particular point of time, then what happens? Krishna becomes Lord Brahma. He takes up that position. It's not that Lord Brahma and Krishna are the same, but he takes up that role as Brahma. And sometimes he takes up the role as Indra also. Hmm? And because if you have done 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas and you have accumulated these many Punya Shukrutis, then you can become Indra. But to become Brahma, you have to have more accumulation of Punya. Okay, like that depends on the role. To become simple demigod, whose role is very small, but compared to us, everything is significant only because they are all they are all empowered by Krishna directly, and they are all superior to us, of course, and they are all devotees. Sometimes, like us, they also forget about the Lord's position and they get puffed up on their own position and they get, pride. They get proud of their position. Then, like Indra, for example, he always get himself into trouble. Like, for example, in Indra Yagya, there was in the Govardhan Leela when Krishna wanted to teach, not when Krishna wanted to teach lesson, because when Indra was so puffed up and he was so proud that all Vrajavasis in Vrindavan, they are doing yajna every year. So when he is pleased, that's what demigods do. When they are pleased, they bring rain, right? They do the job, whatever the job they are assigned for. But basically, regardless of the sacrifice, they have to do the job. But Krishna wanted to encourage the cooperation between the demigods and the humans, right? Therefore, he is telling, hey, in Bhagavad Gita, in Vedas, come on, you guys, little human guys, just offer obeisances, offer respects to the demigods. They are superior to you. Like, for example, in our home also, like our grandparents will tell, when uncle or aunt come to our home from long distance, grandparents in our family tell to the child, grandchildren, hey, offer obeisances to the aunt and uncle. They do this for us. They did for you. They did this for you, etc. Like they gave you this gift. So please offer obeisances and pay respect. And then child would do because child doesn't know. So the child now knew. So she is doing similarly. Krishna also telling us that these are the demigods. These are Devi Devatas. They have their own roles. They are doing that. But even though their job is to do, but to appreciate, it's not. In the next verse we will read, we will become a thief when you take a gift but you don't pay back, right? When you don't give anything in return, that means it's stealing. You're simply taking thing away from someone but not having any gratitude to give that back, in one way or another. So when Indra Yagya was going to be performed by Vrajavasis, so all the Vrindavan Vasis, they sit down and they do the yagya, bring all the food, fruits, flowers and everything, and they decorate a yagya kund and they offer to Indra, and Indra becomes pleased. He brings rain, and then what happened in the next few verses? This is what we are going to see. But in the story also it covers so that it makes more sense when we go to that part. So the grain grows when the rain comes. The food grains start to grow, and then you take the food grain and then you offer to the Lord, and then you eat as prasadam. But this is cycle. So from Supreme Lord only everything comes. We will read that one thing in the next verses, coming verses. So from the Supreme Lord only Veda comes. From the Vedas, the Varnashram Dharma, it all comes. So Dharma, what is your Dharma, what is my Dharma, what is Swadharma, what is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means eternal Dharma. For everybody, for every living entity, the Sanatana Dharma is the same, which is to serve the Lord. Jivera Swarupa hoy Krishnera Nityadas. That doesn't change. But the Swadharma, the material dharma, which is temporary, depending on your birth, not birth, the karma, the guna, your qualities, correct? Of course, birth will not determine anything. Birth means, okay, it indicates that you could be a Brahmana because you were born in the Brahmana family. But you could behave like a Sudra also. So we never know. But it depends on your guna only. The Swabhava can be justified, but still our natural, our real swabhava is like to serve the Lord, because that's when we are really pleased, when we serve the Lord, when we go to the temple, when we eat prasadam, we are really happy, correct? And when we associate with devotees uh, in the context of Krishna subject, it's not that you're socializing with them just because you're bored and you want to socialize. No, you're not socializing. It is more like associating with devotees to glorify the Lord, to talk about Krishna Katha. Then you will know that feeling. You will know how much blissful you are. So coming back to Indra Yagya, so this is happening every year, but this time because Indra was so puffed up, and he was even talking about his position to his other guys, his servants, his assistants, saying, "Look, I'm great. Without me, they don't get rain. Look at them. They have to do this every year. Otherwise, I don't give them rain. If I don't give them rain, they don't get food grain. No food grain, no food means nothing. Everything stops. The cycle doesn't continue." So he was so much proud. So Krishna wanted to teach a lesson. So what he did was also he wanted to play a pastime with his dear devotees with in an intimate relationship. So this pastime makes it more intimate with the Vrajavasis, between Krishna and Vrajavasis. It became more intimate. So that's another main reason why Krishna wanted to do that. So when Krishna does one thing, actually it's not just one. It's one action, but it's for many purposes, many reasons, and it satisfies many souls. That is the specialty of Krishna. So he wanted to teach the lesson. So he told he asked his father. He was a little boy, so he asked his father, "Look, why are we doing this?" And father was explaining this we do every year and all. And Krishna was saying that, "Look, Govardhana, Giri Govardhan, the mountain Govardhan is with us, and actually from him only we are getting everything. The grains, food grains comes, the river Yamuna flows, and everything, and we are able to feed our cows, and cows give milk. From the milk we make milk products and sell in the market and make money. So many things happening, and it nourishes our body also. So many things happening from Govardhan. Well, why don't we celebrate Govardhan instead of Indra? Because Indra is doing duty. Lord Vishnu has given him position to do this duty, and he has to do this duty regardless. But why do you have to give him sacrifice? Actually, Krishna only telling in this verse we have to do sacrifice to please demigods. Now in the same but the same Krishna in Indrayagya, he's telling father, don't do Indrayagya. So how do we understand? That's because Indra was proud, and Krishna wanted to teach a lesson, but also Krishna actually wanted to give them Krishna Bhakti directly instead of going through the cycle of small platform, which is Indra Yagya. Okay. Govardhan is who Krishna himself in a mala form, in a giri form, hill. So therefore, Krishna wanted to give that bhakti activity or devotional service to his devotees, dear devotees, to worship Krishna directly. Why bother Girigo? I mean Indra. Okay, like that. So that gave them opportunity. They were some conversations going back and forth between father and Nanda Maharaj and Krishna. But then later on, Nanda Maharaj agreed because Krishna Paramatma, he makes them to agree anyway, even if they don't want to. But somehow they agreed. It's not that, but again, we shouldn't think Paramatma will influence us so much. No, but Paramatma will always allow us to make our own decision. He give us the information. Even with the Bhagavad Gita also, after speaking all the verses, totally 700 slokas here, most of the verses spoken by Krishna. After speaking everything, Krishna saying to Arjuna that, look, I've given you the information, now choice is yours, decision is yours. Whatever you wanted to do, please do. So that tells how Krishna is very detached from his own advice. Sometimes we give advice, what we expect, follow. You must follow. In our heart, we'll tell. He must follow. I spent 10 minutes telling all this. Now, what he did is he's doing something else. Then why I waste my energy and time? Like that we say. But Krishna, not like that. In entire Vedas, it's talking about Krishna only. But because people don't understand that part, essence, they take only some bits and pieces of Vedas and think, oh, this is Krishna is not supreme, Shiva is supreme, Kartikeya is supreme, Ganapati is supreme. So they take one part of Vedas and come to the conclusion, okay, he is supreme and etc. And therefore they make their own decision based on that. And Krishna tells in this chapter only, for them to have that faith on the other demigods also, Krishna is giving that faith. Krishna telling, I am giving you that faith because you wanted to worship demigods and I'm giving you the faith. Okay, come on, you do that. That's fine. Because it's still in Varnashram Dharma, right? It's still following normal religious principles, which is fine. Because as long as you are in the correct path, instead of becoming an atheist, which is thinking nothing is real, everything came by Big Bang Theory, and there is no such thing as God doesn't have a form. So when you have that kind of consciousness, it's very hard. Okay, coming to put you in karma kanda itself is hard. So it takes time for you to do a lot of punya to be able to develop that little faith to come to that path itself needs a lot of punya. Then what to speak of coming to bhakti? So, everyone is now agreed to arrange Govardhan Yagya now. So they are now going to do it. And now Indra saw everything, what is happening right down there in Vrindavan. He became very angry. So he started to send the rain that has the power to destroy the world. That at the time of inundation only that was supposed to be sent, but he already started to send. But because Krishna, who is the protector of his dear devotees, Vrajavasis are like topmost devotees, right? So what he did, he picked up the Govardhan, same Govardhan, and in a single, finger, like pinky finger on the left hand, and then he started to hold it like an umbrella or like a little mushroom on his finger, and he protected all the Vrajavasis, including the cows, and playing flute on the other hand to entertain them. Otherwise, he was feeling like, what if they are bored? So he wanted to entertain them. So he was playing flute on the one hand and then holding the mala on the other hand. And Vrajavasis, because of their consciousness, higher consciousness, they are not even thinking Krishna is God. Krishna is one among us. What if his little hands pain? So let us also give some support. Say they all started to put their own sticks here and there on the hill, under the bottom of the hill, to hold on. So Krishna was looking at everyone, and everyone is feeling like Krishna is looking at me personally at my eyes, and they didn't even feel any pain of hunger or thirst or the pain of staying under the hill and near the water is flowing everywhere. They didn't feel anything because of the bliss and the happiness that derived from being near to Krishna and hearing his Gana, Venu Gana, and they forgot the 7 days gone like this, and they were feeling when everything settled down, because now Indra understood this is not ordinary, this is Supreme Lord only Krishna. So he came and apologized and all. But the Vrajavasi's mood was, oh no, why did this stop? If it did continue, we would have lived this rest of our life like this only by looking at Krishna. So they felt that, you know, so this is the mood of Vrajavasis, or dear devotees of Krishna. For us, if even one rain comes, we're like, oh no, what is this? It's so ridiculous. We might have Bhagavad Gita with us. We might be able to hear Krishna Kada over the phone, like from ISKCON, like YouTube or anything. But still, no. And of course, personal association with Krishna is more glorious, but still, it's equally glorious when you still have association of devotees of Krishna, correct? And we don't appreciate all that. So we need to develop that consciousness. For that, we need to purify. To purify, Krishna is giving all these tips and tricks so we can gradually upgrade ourselves. But again, I'm telling you, if you are practicing Nama Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan, we don't have to do any of this, but it doesn't mean you are not being gratitude, you are not being grateful to the demigods. No, it doesn't mean like that. We should still be grateful to the Devi Devadas. We should still worship them. Worship means respect them. Worshipping means only Krishna. Bhagavan is only bhakti you can give, correct? Bhagavan and bhakti, but not for Devi Devadas. But it is not wrong to respect. It is absolutely necessary to respect elders, to respect the superiors. Like that, it is absolutely necessary to respect those empowered administrator of the Lord, because they are not ordinary people. They are like superhumans, right? They can stand next to me. I can't see them. They can see me. They can tell what I'm doing, and they can give me benediction. They are powerful, pretty much, correct? We all know that. I don't have to tell. And we recently had Shivaratri festival also, correct? So it's great. Lord Shiva, Vaishnavanam Yato Shambho, he is the great senior devotee of the Lord, Sri Krishna. And he glorifies Krishna on different occasions in different parts of Vedas, like in Shiva Puran, Padma Puran, Vishnu Puran, like that. So in Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, they are captured, that how Krishna was glorified by Shiva and etc. In Mohini Murti, that also in that Leela also, how Shiva got bewildered by the beauty of Mohini and not knowing it is Krishna only, and he even started to feel his body parts, being getting attracted towards that lady, thinking who is that lady so beautiful, but that was Mohini Murti, that was Krishna only. So then he didn't feel embarrassed or anything. Actually, he felt so happy that how the Lord is so powerful. He even tricked me. So that's how powerful he is. He tricked me, because Lord Shiva is not easy person. Like, he can fall for any woman. Many times Indra wanted to send this apsaras and beautiful ladies from Gandharva and etc., but he didn't fall for it. He burnt them down and etc. But with Mohini Murti, he fell for her. Then he realized, I can only fall for one person, that is Krishna, and that was Mohini Murti. Both are same. Therefore, I am not at guilty, because of course I have to fall for her. Then if I don't, then I become superior than Krishna, correct? So he was that much humble. So so the lessons from Shiva, we can take so many from him. He's a calm person, very simple person, and he doesn't like to be very in a luxurious position or anything. He's giving shelter to ghosts, pisasas and bhutas, and Hmm? Why? Because they are left alone. They don't have anyone to take shelter of, and how can they be delivered? So for them, he is giving that shelter. Who will do that? That much humility, Lord Shiva has. So therefore, Krishna and Lord Shiva, it is said Vishnu and Shiva are like, Vishnu is milk, means Shiva is curd. It's no big difference. It's difference there, but still almost the same, coming from the same product, like that. So they are, Shiva's position is very much appreciated throughout the Bhagavatam. Wherever it is indicated about Shiva, it is appreciated for his position. And Krishna also likes Shiva very much, because of his devotion towards Krishna. So we can take that lesson from him. And yeah, happy Shivaratri to all. it's a belated wishes, but still it's good opportunity for us to glorify the devotees of Krishna. Whenever there are opportunity, we must do that. And in the previous verse, there is a important see, ahara shuddho shattva shuddhi, shattva shuddho dhruvo smriti, smriti lambe sharva grantinam vipra mokshaha. So, what happens is by yagya, whatever the food that we offer becomes sanctified. That's why we are eating Krishna Prasadam. And by eating that sanctified foodstuff, one's very existence become purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. Not only that, the memory also becomes sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, what happens? One can think of the path of liberation. Otherwise, what he'll think? He'll think about how can I enjoy next? In what way I can enjoy next? In what way I can indulge myself into next? Like that only he'll think. So, and all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. Because present day society is like so animalistic. This is what we are hearing, right? No compassion towards other living entities. The animal killing is increasing. Hmm. Now, even though, and it is good, veganism is now getting popular, which is great, but still the animal killing is happening. No compassion towards other living entities, still domestic violence happening, abuse is happening, and still the rape in the parks and uh, public places are still happening. That means there is no respect to the other living entities. Whether prajas is, see, when citizen is protected, should be protected means citizen includes the trees, the other living entities, animals, plants, birds, and everything in that in the sphere, not just human beings only. But even the human beings also are abused. So the next sloka, Ishtan bohan hi vo deva dashyante yagya bhavitaha tair datan apradabhyo yo bhukte stena eva shaham. Translation. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gift without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. That we'd already discussed. So if you want to promote to the next level, you must appreciate where you are. Correct? If you are in the position and you're abusing the position, you're abusing your boss, you're abusing your colleagues, how can you progress? It's simple logic, correct? And you are in the house, you're abusing your neighbor, you're abusing the handyman that who come to your house, and who will come or who will provide you any support or help, correct? So it's simple logic again. So when you appreciate the work that's being done by the demigods, the Devi Devadas, and the products that you're deriving from them, the goods, whatever you're getting from them, you must give them back in one way or another, in a simple way. Again, is simply, it's very simple. You're not you're getting so many, but you're only giving little bit. Okay, the rain, you imagine how much rain you get, but what are you giving? One glass of water, like little pot of water only you will be giving in the yajna, right? So not so much economically you are deprived either. You are doing everything as a sample. When you are offering food to Krishna, are you offering 5 kilos of rice and then 1 kilo of dal and 2 kilos of vegetables? No, it's simply making little piece of one pot of cooked food, and then you are offering one little cup of rice, one little cup of dal. What else you're doing? That's all. Krishna sees the intention, not the quantity. The quality only he's seeing, not the quantity. So next verse is 13th. I read the Sanskrit sloka. Someone read the translation, please. यज्ञाशिस्ताशिन सन्तो मुच्यन्ते शर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जन्ते ते त्वगं पाप ये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्. This is important verse. Can somebody read the translation, please?
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
So simple is that. Offer food to Krishna, eat that as prasadam, your sins are removed. You're not offering food to Krishna, you're eating the food without offering, you're eating the sin. You're accumulating more sins. Correct? So it's very easy, that the Krishna consciousness is very easy, simple, quick, and effective method that one can follow and anyone can follow. But what happens is, because we are too much attached to our own sense enjoyment, we think, oh, I don't want to spend extra couple of minutes offering that to the Lord. I would rather go and eat the food that I made. Oh, Krishna might not like this. Maybe next meal I'll try to make something for him because I like this. Krishna might not like it, so I'm not going to offer this. So we are, see, he is giving us everything, but we are not even able to give up on one or two things, like, for example, onion, garlic. Hmm? So it's not that you will be deprived of food like everything. No, you eat pretty much everything. We are not eating animals, correct? Because they are other living entities. We are not supposed to eat other living entities. That simple as that. And you don't need that kind of what do you call B12 or anything like that. From broccoli also you get B12. I believe spinach also. So many vegetables can give you a lot of protein and energy. So you don't have to derive that protein and energy from killing someone and accumulating sins. It's not that Krishna is saying, not because he doesn't want you to eat and enjoy. No, because it's useless. It's worthless. You're eating, but what you're doing is you're accumulating sins. Means bondage. Sins means what? You have to suffer the sinful reaction. So you have to take birth. Means there is a bondage. No liberation. So to remove yourself from the bondage, you need to do something. Okay, say you're going in this way, there is an obstacle. You need to take a diversion. You need to take diversion. So to or need to go over. You need to find a way to get to the destination, right? Otherwise, you can't get. So for that, Krishna is giving you this karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and bhakti yoga. He is giving you this path. You decide what you are capable of, what you are interested in, and follow. But Krishna will also tell, but bhakti yoga is the best. What intelligent person will do? He'll not sit down and waste time by trying, okay, let me try karma yoga for a year, and then jnana yoga for a couple of years, and ashtanga yoga for maybe 3 years, and then I'll come to bhakti yoga, see how I go. What is this? You're wasting your life. So directly when you can achieve the topmost perfection, why not try it? Why not start doing it? Correct. And again, bhakti is perfection in itself. It's not that you have to achieve perfection. It is perfection in itself. It will make you perfect. You don't have to worry about it. All you need to do is endeavor, have the desire that you wanted to do this. That's all. Hmm? And then you will achieve that. So I think we can stop here. Any questions? Okay. So if no questions, we can